Another shameful deed. Manus had broken off from his girl and called on the back door of another girl. He had a bottle of whiskey and a bit of draw in his pocket. The back door was open, and peeping into the kitchen, he looked for the boots of her lover. Not seeing any boots, he felt safe, and even if she had someone with her, so what? He often called for a drink or some company, but it was 10 o'clock in the evening, and anybody with half a titter of wit would know that Manus had not called to have tea with the vicar. He was calling for sex. In actual fact, Mary and him had thought about doing it with each other so often that it was a bit of a joke. Always at the last minute, her boyfriend or his girlfriend would come waltzing in, until the build-up had reached such heights that both Mary and Manus were right off the actual happening. But being lonely and frustrated, they were both going to push on through with it. She made coffee and he put whiskey in it. She said, "I locked the door." He rolled a spliff. They looked at each other and she said, "I know you're going to stay and I know it's going to be great, but we'll just do it once and don't tell anyone." "Great," said Manus. But in truth, he didn't think it was going to be so great. He didn't know why. He knew her boyfriend. The fact that she used methadone. She was pretty, and it would be great to lie next to her warm body and juicy cunt, but he knew the sex wouldn't be magic. They kissed in the living room to cement the deal of one night sex and not a word breathed about it ever again. And they probably should have gone straight for sex right then in the living room, but they didn't. "Right then," she said, "now that's out of the road, we can get down to some serious smoking and drinking." So she smoked and drank until the room spun around and she felt sick. She went to the bathroom then, and Manus had half a fear she might change her mind. He sat there drinking whiskey, smoking spliffs, staring at the box with the sound down and the radio on until she stuck her head in the door. "I'm sick," she says. "I want you to come up and just lie beside me and go to sleep." "Fucking great," said Manus. That was all he really wanted to do. So he turned the music in the box and the gas fire off and took the whiskey and some water, the draw, and went up to her bed. Her child was in bed with her, so that would knock any acrobatics out of the road. He undressed and snuggled in beside her. She had her panties on, fancy loose silk ones. She had a top on. She had her back to him and his prick slid naturally into the valley of her cheeks. He touched the back of her warm thighs. His fingers slipped up her fancy loose silk ones into her dark, damp warmth, and there it was, another one. Brand new cunt and clit. She pushed her cunt at him, just like any female might do. And just like any male might do, he stuck his dick inside her. The fact that he knew her boyfriend and then the kid lying next to them, too, had him a little intimidated. And the shameful truth was that he hardly got a hard on at all. Still, he touched her clit and managed to push his little soft dick in and out of the entrance of her vagina. She started doing it for herself, rubbing herself, her fingers slapping softly on the little pink bud that stood up. Her back arched as her bum stuck further and further back towards Manus and his soft dick. She seemed to be hitting herself lightly and then not so lightly right on the clit. Eventually she came and then says, "All right, can we get some sleep now?" Like it was Manus had kept her awake. Manus laughed and rolled a spliff and drank some whiskey and then some water because he felt dehydrated and sick. He left in the middle of the night and told her, sleeping for him, that he would be back in the morning for a cup of coffee. He came back in the morning too. He brought more whiskey. They had both been a little worried that they might never be able to look at each other in the face again, but they could. They both got drunk again, and both thought that maybe they should try again, just to clear each other's names. Perhaps they would try again, but neither of them was really that ashamed. Sometimes it even brought a little sly, sleeked grin to both their faces.